Now the leaf spring, it has to go in that groove. That's for the park. And this was like that. Now there is a kind of a trick to that. There is a trick to that. There is a bolt underneath, so it has to be preloaded, that centered around here. It has to be centered actually. That might be difficult to achieve, but you have to push it as much as you can to the right and then tighten that one. It's not just you tighten it. So what one can do, undo that bolt in there. Let me undo it. Because let me take out the spring. Now undo that bolt in here. Take it out. Should be pretty long bolt actually. Yeah, it is relatively long bolt. And there is a bolt here with this little, with the bolt of the leaf spring. The bolt of the leaf spring. There is only one bolt of the leaf spring. And it kind of slides underneath like that, and it can move, slides underneath here, it can move forward. So I can put that bolt, just tighten it a little bit. A little bit more. And the thing is, you cannot just slide it like that, put it there and tighten this bolt. This has to be put on under pressure like that, and then you tighten here. So this under pressure is achieved with this bolt here. I've already unscrewed it. There was a bolt here which I've already unscrewed that kind of goes underneath here, so you can put it there. So I've unscrewed it, and then you find an oversized washer, something like that, that it was a different washer. I just enlarged the hole, that is just about the right inside. So now it goes underneath here in the groove and in there. Now you tighten that bolt. Here has to be centered, so you here cannot move up and down. It cannot really move. There is a very little movement, so it will always, as long as you hold it center here, this little pin that is here is centered on that one, as it was at the beginning of the picture when you took them, or when I took them. It will be alright. Let me screw it a little bit more, or screw it actually, because I haven't at all screwed it. There we go, a little bit. But you have to make sure that it's centered. That thing here is centered. So hold it a little bit while I screw it. Yeah, that should be centered. Maybe a little bit to the right, to the top, a little bit. I'm just feeling it with my fingers. And then you screw that one in fully. That's centered horizontally here. I can feel it with my fingers, maybe a little bit down. I can actually have a T30 key because it will be easier. You see later why it's easier. Tighten it tight, but not like a screw, not super tight, right? Then what you need to do, then you need to undo it two full turns. So that's why the key here, so I can undo it. This is one turn, and then 2 turns. So that now is under load. This is under load. This is centered. I'll try to center it. I'll also look at the mirror if that is actually centered. Yeah, that's centered. Yeah, it's perfectly centered actually. Maybe a bit to the top, maybe a bit to the bottom. Kind of perfect center. And now you tighten this bolt. This cannot go anywhere actually. Cannot go upwards because when you tighten it, it is stopped. This little lip here, well, the protrusion is stopped by this, so it's nowhere to go. You can certainly center it a little bit, but not really much to go. This is tightened to 9 Newton meters, and I'll tighten this while holding that kind of in the center. I'll tighten that to 9 Newton meters. Hopefully I can do it. This is centered here. I've centered. Then undo that bolt. Remove the washer, put the bolt inside, and you can see it's centered. It goes inside actually, so it's in the middle. And that's the whole thing. That's how you do that one. And this is because this was, now it's kind of loaded. You can kind of move it to double check with the mirror that this is centered. It's pushing there. This is almost flat. It's not entirely touching, but it's almost flat. This is in the center, and this bolt is 7.5 Newton meters. Same as those. And this is 9, and they look like this. Here, let me put the camera. This is centered. This metal at the back is centered here. This pin underneath is in the groove. It doesn't move at all. This spring is under load. You can move it a little bit, and it's there. This is actually in the middle as it was before, and this looks exactly as before. Yeah, let me see if I can maybe shine a torch so you can see it a little bit better. Potentially, maybe. Hope you can see it a little bit better how it is. And also at the top, hopefully, let me put some light. You can see how tight the spring, this leaf spring is towards the bottom. Is nearly flat, but it's not entirely flat. So that's why you preload it with this, unscrew it, preload it with the washer, and then you tighten this to 9 Newton meters. And now it's time to do a check. This is in the middle. The leaf spring is in the middle here, horizontally middle, in the groove where it's supposed to be the park position. The hydraulic valve or the manual valve, it's in that groove here. This one is 7.5, as well as these 7 bolts. So let's double check. This is 9 Newton meters. Now these are plugged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the bottom 6. The other 2, good thing that I took a picture of those, that they are plugged in. And that's about it. I'll have one final look at those, that this is in the middle. Almost perfect middle, a little bit to the top, but well, and then the other pin is in here. The plastic here, the hole in here doesn't obstruct the pin from going in and out. And well, there isn't much else to do, just to close it up.